Brand. Now why am I saying brand? Because why should you create brand? How to create brand? One word. You want a one word answer, how to be successful in life? One word answer? Differentiate. You know why differentiate? Because if you say, I am an IT engineer, guess what? 85% of the IT engineers in the world are Indian in origin. Indian meaning India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. So you are one among God knows how many, probably a billion or something. Big deal. If you say I'm a lawyer, so what? There are a zillion like you. So big deal. Who cares? Say anything in the world. I'm a teacher. There are a trillion like you. I'm a mother. I'm a father. Name it. Anything you say, there are a zillion like you. So what? Big deal. So what must you do? You must say, what is it that makes me special as a lawyer? Which differentiates me from the crowd? What do you call a colored piece of cloth which is hanging on a clothesline and flapping in the breeze? Laundry. What do you call the same colored piece of cloth when it is on a flagpole? The flag. Same colored piece of cloth. Without going into the fiqh of it, why do people salute a flag? Because they like to salute colored pieces of cloth. Standard. It's a standard, it's a symbol, it represents the nation, it represents everything the nation stands for. It inspires patriotism, it inspires all kinds of feelings. And so people will salute a colored piece of cloth provided it is in the right place. The same flag, if it gets dirty, what do? You wash it. And where do you dry it? Not on the flagpole. You dry it on your clothesline. Once it is dried, then you raise the flag, and when you raise the flag, you don't just raise the flag. There is a whole ceremony of raising a flag. Yes or no? There is a whole ceremony of lowering a flag called beating the retreat. You don't just lower a flag. What's all this drama about? It's nothing to do with the colored piece of cloth. It's what that thing represents. And this is the issue. The issue is that if you differentiate, then even if you are a colored piece of cloth like a million other pieces of cloth, because you are on top of that flagpole, you have some very special status. And that differentiation is called brand. So I said, why brand? Because brand differentiates, brand creates loyalty, brand creates legacy, and brand is the best insurance in the world. People talk about economic upturns and economic downturns and this happened and that happened. Believe me, if you've got brand, none of that will affect you. None of that will affect you. The world can go up and down, nothing will change. For you, as far as you're concerned, your world will go along quite fine. And without brand, you are a grain of rice in a sack. You're still rice. You're not sand. You're still edible. But that's it. No influence, no power, no authority, no nothing. You lived and you died. Just think about this. If all that can be said at there's this famous character in the Bible called Methuselah, who is supposed to have lived for 950 years or some such thing, right? So they say that Methuselah lived for 950 years and the only thing that could be said about him was that he died. I mean, that's pretty sad, no? Imagine, he lived for 950 years and all that you can say about him is that he died. But you'll be surprised, this is the reality about, may Allah forgive us, the majority of people. They lived and they died. Now if that is all that's supposed to happen, if all that's supposed to happen is you stay alive for a while, you eat, you drink, you get married, you make a few babies, you build a house, you buy a couple of cars, and then you die and you're gone, then tell me, what is the difference between you and a cow? Seriously, when the cow also eats and drinks and more than you, try to drink as much as the cow, let me see. 15 liters at a stroke. And then it also makes a few babies and it dies. So what is the difference between a human being and an animal? The difference between a human being and an animal has nothing to do with their biological shape or size or stuff. It's to do with what legacy they leave behind. What is the legacy? What difference did it make that you walked the earth? Did it make any difference? I'm not saying global difference. It does not make a difference to the whole world. To somebody, somewhere. Maybe your own family, alhamdulillah. But did it make a difference? What difference did it make that you walked the world? That you walked the earth? And that is what you need to focus on. Right? So 3 secrets of branding. Number 1 secret of branding. Quality. Never compromise quality, no matter what you do. Number 1 quality, not because of who the customer is, not because of who the audience is, but because of who you are. First rule of branding is quality. Second rule of branding is quality. Third rule of branding is quality. No matter what you do, if you are a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper in the world. First time I went to Singapore, I checked into my hotel and so on. I was doing a workshop for GE there, GE Asia. So checked into my hotel and so on, decided to go and see what Singapore, the town looks like. So I went out, I said, can I get a taxi? They said, oh, just stand on the curb, they'll come. So I stood on the curb and literally, a couple of, maybe 10 seconds later or something, this car drives up. Beautiful, shining Toyota car. Drives up. Now I am standing there. The car stops, the driver gets out of the car, comes around to the back, opens the door and says, sir, please have a seat. So I thought to myself, what's going on here? He's a taxi driver, right? So he said, please have a seat. So I sat down. He tells me, sir, there's a newspaper there, there's some water there if you would like to have some water. He shuts the door, comes and sits in his seat, and he said, sir, where would you like to go? So I said, I don't want to go anywhere, I just want to sit in this car and enjoy this experience. This is the first time in my life. I mean, no offense meant to New York or New Yorkers, because I lived there myself. New York taxi driver, this guy will talk to you on the side of his mouth. And sometimes, depending on where you want to go, you want to go there. Taxi driver. The way he did his work leaves an impression in my mind forever. I mean, I would have told this story. This story is old. This is like 1994 or something. And we are now in 2011 almost. I've told this story across the world. I've got a couple of these stories of drivers and this one and that one. People who are in so-called lowly jobs. I'm saying so-called because no job is lowly in that sense. So so-called lowly jobs, but who do that job with passion, with differentiation. So it doesn't matter what you do, but you need to do that and differentiate yourself, because otherwise, no matter how your job might look big, but if somebody says, all right, so this guy was, the chairman of this corporation, so what? You scratch your head, so what? I don't know, so what? And that's why our work defines us. And that's the reason I say that the worst reason to work for is money. And believe me, I'm not allergic to money. I think money is a very good thing. But it's not the reason to work. The worst reason to work for is money. Money is the consequence of work. It's not the reason to work for. You do good work high quality work, money will come. But that's not the reason you're working. So work to create a legacy, work to create a benchmark, work to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, work to become somebody that people will refer to when they are looking at that work. And subhanAllah, this is the thing that my whole consulting work with family businesses and Muslim companies is this. Can we create iconic Muslim businesses which are 100% halal, but which are global in reach? Humongously large corporations, very powerful, but 100% halal, run by Muslims who look like Muslims. That's what you want. That's what you want. I mean, today we've got names, but you actually go into the